Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with a brand new speed build, this time doing a huge 64 by 64 lot mansion. So this is Magnolia Rise. It's a 5-bed 4-bathroom build and it's built in Brindleton Bay and it comes in at just less than 364,000 simoleons. So as you can actually see at the moment, I am actually building over in Willow Creek, and I actually really wanted to build on this particular lot because I do think it's really beautiful and it's got some real nice scenery, kind of lush landscaping. But even though I knew what I wanted to build, or had an idea of what I wanted to build, I had no idea how big it was going to turn out to be. And I think the more and more I was building, the more I realised that I wasn't going to have a lot of room to kind of do landscaping, which is just what I wanted to do. So I decided to switch over partway through, I think after I'd finished building the house, and change it over to Brindleton Bay just to give it a little. So before I get stuck into the build, I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm still not 100% well. This has got to be the longest cold I think I've ever had. And in all honesty, the last voiceover that I did was on Saturday night, and I actually felt like I was making quite the recovery until I woke up on Sunday morning and just felt dreadful. And then it just got worse on Monday and today. You know, I've just not felt great at all, and it's almost like I've caught another cold before I've kind of recovered from the other one. So I apologize. I am working on it. I think after I post this build up, I'll probably take a little bit of downtime tonight just to sort of get my head down a little bit, try and get some sleep, and just try and sort my life out, because this illness thing is driving me up the wall. But I am really excited because my kids have finally, my other two have broken up for the school holidays. So this week, for the rest of the week, should be quite chilled out. Although I say that, it's actually my son's birthday in 2 days and it's my birthday on Sunday as well. So there's not going to be too much downtime, but if I can get a bit of rest in, then it's going to be a bonus, I think. So my idea with this house was that I wanted to build something in a shape that I've not built before. Now when I say that, even though the builds that I build are obviously different shapes, I tend to go for quite wide looking houses. Whereas this time it was a bit more of an L-shaped house, which is something I've not done before. Now, my thought process with it was that I'd really wanted to build a farmhouse. And I mentioned a few videos back that there was something in mind that I had an idea for that I really wanted to do. And I'd say this was pretty much, you know, the style of house that I was thinking of at the time. Although the more and more this build progressed, the less it kind of felt like a farmhouse, and I think that was because of the never-ending change in the wallpapers. You'll see there was a big jump there between the colourings of the wallpapers of the house, and I do apologise for that, but that's purely because this house was recoloured so many times that it was just ridiculous. It really was. At one point it was sort of like a very dark blue and greyish toned house. It just evolved so much, but in the end I thought I'll go for this kind of brick look because I haven't really used brick properly in a long time in a build. And I quite liked how sort of warm this build looked, having kind of like the brick wallpaper. So obviously with this being a 64 by 64 lot, I wanted to go ahead and add some real beautiful landscaping to sort of complement the house. But at the same time, I still wanted it to remain quite functional for your Sims to enjoy, because after all, it's a huge family home. And so I wanted to include lots of activities and skill building items so that this garden remained really functional. So with that, I included all the normal things, normal things that I include anyway, which is things like a pool. We've got chess tables, I actually went ahead and built a greenhouse, which I'm very proud of. I thought it was quite magical. I've not actually built anything like that before, but obviously with the new glass roofing that's come in, it's given us the opportunity to be a bit more kind of adventurous with creating our greenhouses. And this is the first time I've really kind of put the new glass roofing into proper action, if you like. And I created a really nice, pretty sort of greenhouse, which you'll see a little bit later on. But I did actually play test that as well. Somebody asked me the other day in the comments, do I ever play test my builds? And the answer to that is, if I ever feel like the pathing is potentially going to cause an issue, then I will play test it. And the exact same thing this time, with me creating a greenhouse like that in a style I'd never done before. I had no idea whether the sim could even get in it, because it's basically just a glass roof on the ground. But the good news is she can actually get in it, so it's all good. It works. Woohoo! So yeah, at the moment I'm just doing obviously lots and lots of landscaping, adding lots of greenery around the front. I always like the front of the house to kind of look really pretty and the back of the house to be a bit more functional. Pretty as well, but a lot more kind of, that's where all the activities tend to be, I think. So this build actually has what I would describe as probably a bonus room. The structure on the right hand side of the building has a roof with 3 kind of separate roofs in with windows, and in there is not a secret room, but a separate sort of bonus room, which I actually built a staircase up to. Now, ordinarily when you build into roofs like that, it's literally just for show, because the Sims kind of functioning in the roof isn't always a great idea. There's not always a good amount of space for a Sim. But I decided, being that it was such a big part of the build, that it would be nice actually to transform it into a room. Now, initially I was going to put in a study up there because it does have double doors at the end that lead out onto the balcony at the end of the house. And then I was going to make it into a bedroom, although it would have been a smaller bedroom. But in the end I thought, no, I'll just add some flooring in, some wallpaper, and you guys can decide what you want to do to it. But there is actually a double staircase in the house that leads up to that room. So it's entirely up to you what you choose to do with it. And let me know as well, if you do go ahead and download this house, let me know what kind of use you found for it, if any. It might not be a very good room to use, but I thought I'll add it in anyway, because normally I would have left it out. So this is a 5-bedroom build, and in it there are 2 double bedrooms, which I'd say were quite adult rooms really, and the other 3 are significantly smaller, and I've made them kids' bedrooms. So we've got a teenage boys room, we've also got a toddler bedroom, as well as like a girly child's room. But I would say that the other 3 bedrooms are quite a lot smaller than what I would normally build. But I thought I'd either make the floor plan have bigger bedrooms but not as many, or smaller bedrooms and a lot more. And I kind of went with that because I kind of thought that there's that much stuff in this house to do that it's not a big problem to have smaller bedrooms. It's really not a big deal. So that's what I went with. So I did actually post a picture of this pool the other day because it's been so hot. I mean, I feel like it's never ended being hot at the moment in the UK, and I've got to say being ill as well on top's just been awful. But it was especially boiling hot and muggy, as we like to call it here, yesterday. And I was actually building this pool, and I was thinking, oh, if only this was in my back garden, I would definitely jump in that right now. But I had a lot of fun building this garden, and as you can see with the way that I'm kind of doing the pathways and whatnot, I wasn't really entirely sure what I was putting in here or where anything was going to go. All I knew that I had this huge big pool in the middle, and but I really liked the pool. I felt like it was quite pretty, and I did dress it up to be quite fancy. And I also used some little, they're called side table lights, and they look like little lilies or flowers, and you can actually place them in the pool and they will sit on top of the water. So I placed plenty of those in as well. And this house, although it's not shown in this video, actually looks really pretty at night time as well. But this is the greenhouse I mentioned, and I'd say it was quite a quick greenhouse, to be honest. It didn't take me 2 minutes to build it, but I just thought the shape of it was really comical. It made me laugh. I honestly didn't think that it was going to work, and initially I actually built a greenhouse that was completely different. It was a proper structure, but I experienced a bug in this lot where the roof just wouldn't go on the build at all. And after messing around for absolutely ages, I decided to just bulldoze it and just try and recreate something else, and that's what I went for in the end. But I'm glad that I did, because I thought it looked like a really nice little space. So there is actually plenty of details in this that I have kind of left out as well. There's lots of bits that I go into add, mainly sort of activity type stuff, as well as details around the front and the back of the house. It's kind of impossible for me to include all the footage from absolutely everywhere, so I always try to include sort of the main features that I've built in the garden areas, just to save you guys from like a 30-40 minute long video. But for a closer look up at this house and absolutely everything in detail, I've either got the screenshots at the end, or you can download this from the Sims 4 gallery. It will be up there on the gallery now, and quite a few people have asked me how you can find my builds on the gallery. Some people have been struggling to find me under my origin ID, and the simple answer to that is try the hashtag SimKim. I always hashtag every single one of my builds with either SimKim builds or SimKim. That's probably the easiest way to find me at the moment. So moving on to the interior now, and this is one of the master bedrooms. I went for kind of like this purplish sort of theme with the dark woods. I'd say the overall look and feel for this house is quite a homely feel, which for us is it's just a very comfy family home. But I'd say there were elements of it that were quite fancy, because obviously this is a very grand home, so we also want it to include lots of sort of fancy ornaments and lighting and whatnot. So guys, this has been an absolutely crazy week for me. You guys have just blown me away. Not only have I been the sickest I've been in such a long time this week, but I've also been the happiest that I've been in a really long time. I just feel so overwhelmed by you guys and your generosity and everything that's happened on the channel. I am literally on the countdown as we speak to 10,000 subscribers, and I literally celebrated 5,000 subscribers 2 weeks ago today. I can't even tell you how amazingly thankful I am for subscribing to my channel, and you know, I've just got a smile that's so wide, it's unbelievable. And me and my husband have just been so excited this week, and it's just so bizarre. I can't even find the words to describe the situation, but I'm just so happy, and I just want to say a big thank you, and also again for all your lovely comments. Some of you have taken the time out to comment, and you've left some really wonderful comments, and honestly I read every single one of them, and I'm just, you know, I know I say this every time, and I always say that every time as well, but I'm just so happy. I really am, and I just want you guys to know that I'm really thankful, and I really appreciate it. It's nice when you do something that you love, and I've played The Sims for a really long time now. It's nice to kind of have people recognise what you do and see the good in what you do. It's great, you know. And today I actually applied to be an EA game changer. And when I was kind of typing out the email, and that I'd written in it that I'd been a player of The Sims 4 since launch, and that I'd also been a player of The Sims since my teenage years, I decided to go back and have a look on the gallery at some of my very first builds that I built back in 2014. And I know I mention this in my videos all the time, that for anyone who asked me about building and says they'll never be able to build like I can build and things like that, just look back on my gallery, because I had a look back today and honestly I couldn't stop laughing. They're not the worst builds in the world, don't get me wrong, but I've come a long way, and I think that's really nice because it kind of, the gallery charters my progress as a creator and someone that's really come a long way. You know, everybody starts somewhere, nobody's born. I know people have natural talent, but sometimes things can be improved and things can be learned on over time. So that really gave me a smile today. I was actually going to post a picture of one of the older builds that I did, and then I was like, no, I can't do that, that's terrible. So coming back to the build, I'm actually just finishing off the children's rooms, and as you could see from that, there were actually 3 small bedrooms. Now, there was 3 bathrooms upstairs in the end, so you can always rework things if you prefer the rooms to be a little bit bigger. But I always find when I play The Sims that unless there's kind of activities and skill building items in the bedrooms, the kids tend to hang around in the sort of communal areas anyway. This is me trying to justify smaller bedrooms. But yeah, moving on anyway, this is the kitchen, and this again was recoloured several times, and I've tried to cut most of that out just to save you from the pain that I went through the other night. But this kitchen, I was like, oh yeah, I can't wait to do some building, and then probably about 20 minutes in I was like, is this kitchen ever going to get finished, because I've had enough. But I went for this sort of dark blue tone in the end, which I don't think I've ever used that in a kitchen before. I might have done, I might be wrong, but I thought I'd use these white counters, and it's been absolutely ages since I've used those counters in a kitchen. I think occasionally I tend to use them in bathrooms, but again, I'm trying to go with using objects that I don't always use, and those kitchen counters I would say was one of them. But this is a bit more of a formal dining area, and I went with this sort of reddish tone, which I really, really love red, as you guys know. Now, there is actually a through room to the turret kind of room off this dining room, and I did go ahead in the end and add in kind of like a bar area. I think I show it towards the end. So it's a really nice place where you would probably entertain guests or potentially have a party. So I'm just working on the study at the moment, and I always include a study into my builds, and this one was quite a warm room really, lots of browns and lots of dark wooden tones, and I tried to make it look quite professional and quite a nice space to sit and study. But this is one of 2 reception rooms, one of the big reception rooms that I included in this build. Now, normally I have like one big main living area or a formal area, and then I'll make the second living reception room into kind of like a downstairs kids activity room. But this time I decided, because the second reception room was actually the conservatory that was built onto the side that had the glass roof, it didn't kind of fit a kids room as such. So I decided to just make this one into a bit more of a formal room, and the other one, which is this one, into a bit more of like a chilled out family space where you've got the telly and a fire, and it's just a nice place for your Sims to gather. So I had to laugh today. I came to do the screenshots for this house, and the problem with seasons is if it's a cloudy day or it's raining, it makes it really difficult to take good screenshots. So what I do is I take the resident sim and I use the weather climate changer to change the weather to clearer skies. That way I can take my screenshot. Only she came to use it today and she was dazed the first time she used it and it didn't work. Now, I've had this happen before and I know there's a risk of death, but the last time it happened they were absolutely fine the second time they used it, but not today. The second time she used it, it did actually zap her and she died on the spot, and I felt so bad. But then I was like, hang on a minute, I only wanted a screenshot. But anyway, guys, I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give me a big thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed already, it'd be great to have you on board. And I just want to say again, thank you so, so much for all the support. I really appreciate it. You've honestly just made my week. I mean, what better week to hit 10k than your birthday week? So I'm over the moon. Anyway, guys, take care. Have a fantastic week and I'll see you next time. Bye.